Hello, everybody. Now behind the camera, not in front of the camera today. I said I was going to draw stuff, so I am. I'm just going to show you real quick on a few things that I do that most of us like our homebrew rather than trying to do what everyone else is doing, right? So I decided that today I would show you a little bit of common mistakes I used to make. I don't know what kind of map I'm drawing. I'm just drawing a map, and let's just get started. Okay, so I just will draw some like squiggly line, especially if I don't know anything about the world. Let's just say for rough draft, that will be good. Okay, so obviously it's just a squiggly line, but let's give it some life. So one of the first things that I always did wrong was that I made it too light of a background. So I had no idea where was the landmass, where was the. I mean, because right now this could be just a big lake. So what I'll end up doing is I'll shade this in really dark. So it's going to be a little fun doing this quickly because I don't want to keep you all night. There's so many things you could be watching right now. But thank those that are just hopping on. So I will make it darker right away just so I can kind of get a feel of it. And I'll put little inlets here rather than just right down to it. Now right here, if I have like an indent like this, obviously civilizations like to build around water. So this would be like where I'd put my city. Keep going. Okay, so got a brief little, very, very rough draft going on here. So, all right, there we go. So I make it a little bit darker. So when you're adding to the, say, city, make it kind of small, a little noticeable right there. And I just do a round dot. Some people draw a little keep, something like that. Sorry, we're dropping in and out of here. We go. Okay, we're back. All right, so some people draw like a keep or something like that. I'll just do circles, make it real simple on myself, and then I start trying to add to the landscape. So maybe a little mountain right here. And so, say I just draw a few little triangles and stuff like that. That's what I used to do. I used to do nothing but just little triangles. But now, adding just a teeny bit of shading makes it so much better in the long run. Hey, Jared, how you doing? Or is it J-Red? Please let me know. I hate to say it wrong. Adding a teeny bit of shading to your mountains makes it just so much more viable as an actual place. So pretend the sun is over here. I always try to imagine there's a sun. That way, everything kind of has life to it. Okay, so say they're up in the mountain range. Well, near a mountain range. And so here is a natural place for a river. So you see right here how it kind of comes in. So I will just quickly, I'd make this a little darker right here at first. And as it meanders down, it becomes less and less so. The first wave was correct, and I am pretty good. Finishing up with our Saturday game a few hours ago. Hey, nice. How'd it go? Hope it was pretty good. I'm just going to check real quick. I kind of lost your comment. Okay, here we go. Tremendous, or was it more of a mess around? I find myself as a DM, we hardly get to the things that we need to. Now, as it goes, I will put little break-offs. Now, not everything has to lead to some kind of huge water body of water. Just little bits here and there, just make it all the better. So rivers, they can be really simple, or they can be really curvy. Like say this one comes off and it comes around here and comes back up here. I mean, maybe there's a mountain range right here that's kind of preventing it to do so. Cartography has always been interesting to me. Being able to chart unknown lands like Lewis and Clark did exploring the American interior. No kidding. Every time I look at a map, I get excited. So drawing fantasy maps for me, it's creating something new. It's like you're playing God. Yeah, pretty good. We're preparing to do a run into the desert to try to investigate some pyramids and then go do. Yeah, good. Well, I haven't played in a while. I've been dealing with baby stuff, which is honestly really awesome, but it is time consuming. So I will add little mountain ranges here and there to maybe make sense of the land as you go. And again, with shading. All right, now around here, I mean, I can keep going down. let's just say this part is a very, let's see, I know it's not relevant right now, but have you ever considered covering homebrew content that's not a finalized state? Examples: Blood Hunter, Monster Manual. Yeah, I have, and I'm going to kind of add a little bit more to it. Um, I really like to cover as much as I can. There's some new books, new content constantly being released. But yeah, I don't just want to do nothing but Wizards of the Coast. I think I'd like to review some other things too, if that's what you were saying. I'm not sure. Anyway, right up here you can see I'm adding some, like a nice little interesting land masses, explorable things. I always think like make something interesting that they would call it something from the gods, like this would be the God's tears. You know what I mean? Like something that is interesting to your players to go up and kind of take a look at. Maybe in the center here, there's some kind of place called I don't know, some druid place. You know what I mean? Like it's sky's the limit when you're doing maps. All right, so this is obviously little bodies of water, but what I like to do also, let me just pull up my notes here. There we go. Okay, just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone's content. Disciples Expanse. I'm not sure. So is that something that I just like uh, name drop some famous fantasy thing? Here's the thing with fantasy: you can say literally anything that comes up with something, or is that an expansion of some sort that I don't know about? I will add little things to make water. Not that you need to. Sometimes I do it myself. And then let's say in here is some kind of cove for, let's say, pirates or something. I don't know. And I will put kind of more interesting jagged rocks coming out of the water here and make sure it's water. You just put a little line right here and shade part of it. Oh, I shaded the wrong side, of course. But yeah, anyway, it adds so much just by doing very little to your maps. You don't have to be some amazing artist because I am not at all, not even a little bit. I'm messing around with it. If you've been on my Instagram, you've noticed that there's been quite a bit of art popping up. It's been practicing, but just little details to your map make a huge difference in the long run. I'll probably say that a few more times. But anyway, you can just fill it in with little teeny rocks. So if a ship's going to come in, it's Pirate Cove. Very simple name, Pirate Cove. And I mean, it starts coming together pretty easily. Sorry, the internet keeps going away for a little bit and it's not very clear. It will pop back in. I apologize, but we're going out here. All right. Next, I wanted to show you kind of a more in-depth mountain range. So let's say right here it gets less sparse as it is over here. Let's see, world creation has always seemed like an immense obstacle in writing a story. Jeff Tolkien spent years crafting just the languages of Middle Earth. Now it's being completely created by him. I know, and he spoke it. It's true. World building does seem daunting. It is, it's complicated. It's hard to just create something out of nothing, but it's really easy at the same time too. It depends on how much depth you want to go into. If you're doing D&D, for instance, let's say they start in some tavern here and want to make their way out to this place. Let's just do a little dotted line. So your players are heading along this way. I mean, this whole place you may never have figured out before, but now you're starting to get into it. It will come naturally when your players will kind of create it for themselves, so it's not something you need to worry about entirely. At least I don't. Yeah, it's insane. I made just a story first, the world, and created around it, making sure places were connected with some mythology and lore. Yeah, so true. That's just what I was talking about. That's perfect. Yeah, because I mean, don't kill yourself, because I made that mistake. I was making my world. Those of you who have been checking out the Patreon, which I haven't posted that much on, and thank you for those that are on it, Kaden, and really appreciate that. But I've been building a world, and I was going into crazy amounts of detail, like, like crazy amount. But my players will probably never go to these places. I like to have a few quests in each city that I go to, that they may potentially go to, I should say. That way I'm not caught completely off guard. All right, so with these mountain ranges and stuff like that, little teeny things here and there, and then a jutting one. Obviously, these are very strict triangular. I'm not going to go into great detail when I'm just doing a quick live. All right, so sorry I was kind of blocking all that. So I will start filling in little teeny bumps and then less jagged as you go out. That way it kind of shows that it's not all rock. It maybe is rolling hills before the mountains. And you can have this at any length that you want. You can have this be, 20 miles. It can be 10 miles. You know what I mean? So just kind of go on what you feel people are going to be more interested in. And let's say that there's some like dwarven keep here. So sometimes I'll do maybe a statue or something to commemorate, so I can remember. So I'll put like a hooded little statue right here, and then just draw like a cloak or something like that. And then it can be like a landmark, and I'll put like a so I can remember that it's a dwarf statue into some mountain range or something like that, some underground realm. I don't know, something like that. That will help me remember. You can do the same thing, or you don't even have to do it. Oftentimes, I'll just put a circle and then a name that's in there. All right, so let's see. There was another thing I was going to show you. Okay, so once you don't have to do this, but I like pop just a teeny bit more, and you'll see when like a real meaningful look to the outside of it. Because I used to just simply draw it with one single line and be done with it. Now I'm trying to figure out who would be living in an area like this. Because, I mean, it's who knows what's up here. So obviously, putting a little bit of water marks right in here. And what I'll also do sometimes is say it's a port city, I'll put a little anchor right here. So I'll put it right here, go straight across right there, and then an anchor. It's funny drawing in front of people, but anyway, it's nice. It's nice having a little company here. So, any questions, anything that you want to add? What kind of maps do you guys typically draw, or do you guys what kind of campaigns? Hold on. D&D really has a knack for letting players completely bypass whole sections of homebrew campaigns, and I'm not sure it's frustrating. Sorry. And I'm sure it's frustrating for DMs who took the time to build those worlds. Yeah, well, it can be. Things online of like the DM saying, "All right, there's a guy in a hat who's walking over here, and then there's this big guy with a cane, and he's all sinister." And they're like, "Wait, there's a guy in a hat?" And they spend the next hour talking to some ridiculous NPC that you've never even fleshed out. Harry Potter. Okay, let's see. Oh, in that bay that you are working on, you have any cool aquatic races? They could be underwater city. The bay trades the coastal cities. If you like that idea. Oh, I do. So maybe like a Triton race here. So you could kind of try to remind yourself by doing a little, I don't know, weird little symbol here, like for I don't know. It's not much of a symbol, but it's like a flag or something. And I don't know, something you can remind yourself that there is a city there. Yeah, I do. I think that would be interesting. Triton races I've never really done with, but on Volo's Guide to Monsters, I kind of like that race. I think that'd be a really hard one to play, but I think if you're doing something near water, it could work out quite well. Well, I thank you guys for joining tonight. I'm having a good time. I'm glad you're here. It'd be interesting talking to myself and no one's around. Of course, there's people watching replay that I can't catch alive, but hey, I'm streaming on a Saturday night. Crazy, right? What time is it where you guys are at? I'm currently sitting at what time? 9:28. So, yeah. Let's see. I like Tritons more as NPCs than PCs. I think they're interesting culturally. I do too, Caden. It's like I said before. I think that to play one for me would be a little difficult because I'm like, it's like let's say Aquaman, in the DC universe, he's probably pretty cool in the water, but you get him outside the water. I mean, he can do a few things, pretend to be cool, but I mean, he shines mostly near water. And if you're not near water, if you're playing in a desert, like Mr. Sawyer, it's going to be a little difficult to get anything interesting going on. All right, I don't even need to shade this area down here because you guys can't see it. All right, so it's come together. It's piece by piece. I will often as well like put little hills that go along here. So, like you can kind of see invisible lines that lead to different areas. So it's not so congested. Obviously, these lines aren't going to be here, but I'll erase them once I can find what I'm looking for and just shade as I go. And it really starts to come together quite well. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys what I do. Obviously, in mountain ranges, I'll do like huge amounts. 11:30, nice. You were up, but Saturday night it's probably not too late, huh? And of course, then I'll start naming things. I'll put like interesting little places, maybe historic. Let's see. I have Tritons acting as the Coast Guard in my Mayan Amazon-inspired continent to prevent poachers and invaders into a isolated continent, but very loyal but stoic. Yeah, that's a nice little application. Like I said, so I will sometimes. Oh, frame rates are dropping again. Sometimes I'll put little landmarks. So I will do something like this. Let's say that in some great battle, some gods were fighting, and one was thrown down right here. And so there's this massive crater, like right here, and it kind of goes up like this. You know what I mean? So like you could say it's some angel fell and crashed there, and so it could be an interesting point for like a campaign, and they call it something fancy. Add those to the map. I highly suggest you do because when you do, you have a real big chance of your people going there. So maybe in this city, have someone talk about it. So they'll make their way down this way, cross some river, and here's some bridge of something or other, and it was famous because some battle was fought on it. And then they'll make their way there. Um, Now, some people will draw trees. Personally, I feel like if you start drawing trees, you want to try to do those on maps that are very, I want to say, close up. If you're trying to draw like maybe some planes, I will do little markers like this, like three little things together here and there, and then I'll make sure to write since we used a word earlier, the Stoic planes. I don't know, maybe something exploded here and then everything else just became dead, or I don't know. I'll put little marks here to let me know. But as far as trees go, I feel like say right here and just add little pine trees. You could do it if you have the time, but honestly, it takes so much time, and you start to wonder what markers are what, and it takes forever. I did three, and it took me a few seconds for each one. So that's kind of what I'm saying there. As far as shading and things like that go, like I said before, I when I get to where I want the map, I start doing a very, very light shade along the map, going in one direction, never changing, because if you look at maps, they will be marked. They'll have different shading depending on where you're located at, what you're looking at, and that way, once it gets going, it seems really um, useless at first because you're wondering, oh great, I'm just making marks. But once you're done, it actually gives it a really nice look because the ocean, I just keep white if you're just doing a black and white, which I'm doing, or in this case, gray and white. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? You shade that in a little bit more, make it look nice, and it really starts to come together. So in just 19 minutes, we have this much. I would spend more time on just like one section at a time and then move outward. Typically, though, I'll start on that side and go this way. Because if you look at the side of your hand after you're done drawing with graphite, it's a mess. Anyway, let's see. Let's see. I like looking places to events. Yes. Example: Hell's Gorge could be a spot where a massive volcano absolutely wrecked the surrounding area. True. And maybe this whole area over here is like no man's land, and on this side, like here is like a massive desert. I'm not sure what we'd put there. Sorry, the frames just dropped tremendously. I'm gonna wait a second. Otherwise, you just see my pencil flailing around. Okay, it's coming back. All right. So anyway, I'd put like a huge mountain range right here, and this huge no man's land, like you're talking about, and it'd be part of like some huge gorge, like you said, maybe like a Grand Canyon situation going down here. And a good way to do that is obviously not this huge and not this dramatic, but just for the sake of time, you could show like the sides of the walls and it come down right here, and pretty much anyone that goes in here, it's crazy because obviously look, these mountains are pretty big, but That's massive. If it was this low, the sea would be going through it. I don't know. You can create very interesting things. Like there would be like this city that maybe holds the dam, like right here. Obviously, very crude drawing, and and it's been kept there for several centuries, and it could be a whole like plot hook over here that they're trying to stop some terrible crazy person to explode. I don't know. You can really go into it, and I find that if you're going to create a campaign, especially from scratch, that do this first. Draw a map. You don't even have to know what you're doing. Like I said, like if you saw from the very beginning, I literally just scribbled really quickly and then I filled it in. And you can do this over and over and over until you get the desired effect. It's not that difficult. You don't have, like I said, you don't have to be very good at map building, but it's very therapeutic to draw a map, at least for me. I find it very relaxing. Anyway, that's pretty much it for tonight. I'm going to turn you around here. Let me turn you around like this. Hello. Anyway, guys, appreciate you joining tonight. I am done. I'm done for tonight. I am going to watch a show, play some games, go to bed. Probably Skyrim. And I will see you all later. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you have any suggestions or we could do little fun things. And if you've been joining my Instagram or you're here from my Instagram, there's more story coming up there. Hold on. See, Jared Potter, I always find it interesting to place locations influenced by planar entities. Yeah, I love that too. For low-level characters and sort of mysterious and high-level when they learn about the... Sorry, I just got a notification. Sites passed in a quest hook. Yeah, you can really throw it out there with a few things. Let me show you a map I recently created. I was at work and I was bored. I love to put little like planar instances, maybe portals to the Fae and things like that. I have a valley that once was a mountain to whittled down into a city for giants. Ooh, that's nice. Hold on. Then into the previously mentioned valley over ages and ages full of yetis, and it's great. Yeah, it sounds like Deathville. You know what? It's fun because if you add little teeny things to this, like the mountain range, a few of those mountain ranges that we drew, they don't have to be terribly difficult or like well thought out when you do it. But then you start looking around for ideas when you're creating a campaign, and you see this mountain range, and you do something like that. It's basically Skyrim's mountain passes. I have recently got that game on Xbox One. I played it a long time ago, and I decided to just mod the crap out of it until it wasn't even recognizable anymore. Oh my goodness. And my biggest problem is that I create too many characters. I will start one, get it to level 5, 10, start a new one, start a new one, start a new one. Mods did the death of me. Alright, anyway, I was going to show you this little city real quick. Not city. I was going to show you this world that I created. But when you know it, I'm unable to find it. Anyway, guys, I do, like I said, appreciate you for coming on. I do. I have a lot of fun creating things for you guys, and the fact that you are on makes me happy. Alright, I did find it. Here it is. At the end. Alright, so I was bored, and it's the thumbnail of this one. So this is the world that I have created for my book, for my D&D campaign. So originally, I think for the campaign we're running right now, this is the city that they've been in, and now they've made their way in the Underdark, and they're up in here in these mountain ranges. But before I had created that campaign, I got this idea of this being in the desert. I didn't know what I was doing. I just drew a map. I literally just scribbled, and it came out this way. And so when I created this whole area over here, I was like, okay, desert city, what's around there? Okay, there's water over here, kind of Mediterranean, Greek-ish in this area. And then as you get further up, it's a little bit more medieval, and over here it's a little bit Norse. And so I add a lot of different cultures to my maps as I go, but before I just draw the map. I don't have it all planned in my head. I have a base idea of what I want, but in the end it changes, because when you start to create something like a map, it's almost like the world shapes itself for you, and the races can be put in different areas, or it can be totally mixed. But finding these like giant causeways or ravines or things like that. It really kind of fleshes out the story to be more realistic and more of a world that's livable rather than just a thing on paper or in our heads. So anyway, yeah, that's it. Again, like I was saying before I got distracted, I do have an Instagram, and I only want you to go there just because I post there more often. It's a lot easier for me to just post a picture. So if you do that, it's in the top area. You can see it. And if you go there, I'm starting to do this thing where you ever play Choose Your Own Adventure or read those books when you're younger? They were my favorite books. I would pick them up and I would just choose the wrong answer all the time and die. So I've been doing those in the story of Instagram, which is a lot of fun. Get interaction, you can vote and have fun. So if you want to kind of hang out with me a little bit more, I do that too. So anyway, I appreciate you again. I will see you all later, and thank you so much for watching the whole video. Seriously, you made it this far. I appreciate you. Let's see. Are there trolls in D&D? Yes, there are. They are awful trolls. If you've ever seen the Swedish movie Troll Hunter, if not, go watch it. There's a giant troll that's basically a Mountain King. I think that would be a cool in-game boss. You know, I think my son watches that. I'm pretty sure. If it's on Netflix, I think he's watched it. Yes, there are trolls in D&D, and they're regenerating, just kind of like in Skyrim. They kind of suck. I mean, there's certain kinds of trolls. I believe you can cut off arms and stuff like that, and they grow back. Yeah, they're not fun to fight. I think one of their weaknesses is fire. I've got my book over here, but I'm signing off because I gotta go. So I have a bowl of ice cream calling my name. It's a Moose Tracks, and I just can't wait to eat it till I'm dead. All right, fire is right. Yeah, okay, good. Of course, man. Take care and good night. You know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate my loyal people that are on and hanging out with me. I appreciate you very much. We've made it to 520 subscribers, which is crazy, and it's little, but I'm going to keep coming out with more songs. And if you guys ever want some, you get first dibs because you are always here, and I appreciate you all. So thank you. And may your rolls, as I always say, be natural ones, just not natural ones. That's just terrible. Bye. Please hang up. Go away.